like a combination of my dissertation and the...
I love it.
I mean, it's fun.
It is fun.
And I took time off from teaching this semester to do this.
Oh, really?
And I go back August, yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool.
All right, ready? All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Village Pod with Dr. Naz. Today is a very full circle moment for me. Years ago, when I was rebuilding my syllabus for the Business and Culture of Celebrity course I teach at USC Annenberg, I cold emailed Paris Hilton's team. And the person who responded is our guest today.
I love that.
Right? Isn't that crazy? Rebecca Grone is the Director of Impact at Paris Hilton's 1111 Media, where she runs the philanthropic and policy arms of the business. Correct me if that is wrong.
That's
You'll
perfect.
tell me everything in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's extra special because you're also a USC alum. And you took this class before I was teaching it. We'll get to your background in a little bit, but Rebecca studied theater, from theater to running one of the most sophisticated impact arms in media today. She has a fascinating background and career, and I can't wait to get into it. And that being said, welcome to the Village Pod.
Thanks.
And-
I'm happy to be here.
And thank you for having us in your iconic office.
Of course. It's fun to bring people into the pink 1111 fold all the time.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I know my team and I were trying to keep it together low key, but we're also like, oh my God, this is crazy.
I know.
I know. This is your normal. It's crazy.
It is, but you just can't take it for granted for a minute. So we try to reflect, especially on the big moments that we have, just
I agree.
really taking it in. And yeah, we're so lucky.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. I want to start from the beginning. Do you remember my email and what made you respond?
I don't necessarily remember the email, but I
weird.
remember the first time I came to the class, and it's been almost every semester since.
Yeah.
I think for me, giving back to the student population that supported me in getting to where I am, my career is so nonlinear, but to have that chance to kind of remind students, it doesn't have to be super linear. It can take, it ebbs and flows. You'll find your place is really fun. So it was an immediate yes to come back to campus and,
It's always a pleasure to have you. I want you to talk about what you studied at USC, because I remember it being theater.
Yeah.
How was that like? That already tells me you're passionate about storytelling, performance, power of the narrative.
Exactly. So it actually started much younger. So I was super shy as a little girl, would not get out of my parents' lap. And, I found the stage, and it was really where I, showed who I was able to use my voice really authentically. Theater was always I was really passionate about it. And so it was really a natural transition to study it in college. I initially thought I truly wanted to be an actor, which feels like a really foreign dream at this point, because I feel like I've really found my place and what I'm meant to do professionally. But at the time, I think I was just looking for that extra growth, and it was what I was most passionate about. So I loved the theater school. I really gravitated towards USC because it had the theater for social change aspect of it. And I was really obsessed with Augusta Boal in Theater of the Oppressed, which a lot of people don't know who he is, but he's a Brazilian theater practitioner. And he really started the idea that you can take theater and scripts and scenes and turn it into political activism. So now it's all clicking, it's all very full circle, but I was obsessed with him in middle school, had obviously no idea where that would lead today, but I knew I wanted to do more than theater, so I also minored in media, culture, and entertainment. I think that's what it's called.
That is a program at Edinburgh.
Okay, so I did that. I studied that, and that just gave me an extra look. Now looking back, obviously, into how media companies run, case studies, how celebrities are using their voices for activism. So yeah, it was a really, really great experience.
And I also remember you did medical clowning. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Tell me more about it and tell me what that is. Because when you first mentioned that, I didn't know what it really meant.
So what I was most passionate about was figuring out how I could utilize what I loved, which was performing, and turning that into a cultural message. And so initially I thought I had to do that in front of the camera. That was what I knew. That was what my dreams and aspirations were. And then medical clowning was a totally different aspect of utilizing essentially what I loved, which was performing, but doing it in really intimate settings. So in hospitals or in community centers, and using it as a way to empower for patients to essentially smile, which is just what a clown is really there to do. So it's no face makeup, it's no big shoes, but it was the red nose to incite play. And that's where I got my nonprofit experience. So right when I graduated, I ran the development part of the USC School of Dramatic Arts medical clowning program. Just got like a total foray into nonprofit management, to fundraising, into clinical research, and all the things that actually have really come to fruition here.
I teach health comm at USC, so this really resonates with me. How do you think that experience influenced what you do today?
I think it influenced in a few different ways. I think the School of Dramatic Arts and the people that were mentors to me just really allowed me to learn on my own, which is something that I do here a lot. Like I started here, and now I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but I started here at 24. And while, I really believe obviously in my capabilities, but Paris and I think people that came before me that were leaders in the space that I looked up to really allowed me to just figure it out on my own. So that was one of the greatest gifts that I had from the medical clowning program, was coming in newly from college, not knowing what fundraising meant, not knowing how to do a NIA grant, like all those types of things.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There's a whole
figure out.
grant writing class that we had to take as part of the PhD program, which
not
you didn't take.
Not the most fun. No, I didn't take that at the time.
And you had to teach it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Exactly.
How did you end up on Paris's team?
So after the medical clowning program, I had decided that I didn't want to just be boxed into one issue, working for one nonprofit at a time. And so then I transitioned into impact producing for documentary films, which I felt like was my way of utilizing my skill set, both from cultural and narrative change and acting, but doing it on the back end and not in front of the camera, obviously. And so I was doing independent impact producing, was working for a bunch of different projects. And then This Is Paris was about to come out. And I, had asked just a poignant question to somebody on the team, who's the impact producer? I was really interested in who got the opportunity to, tell this story and turn it into social change. And luckily for me, nobody had the job. So I joined the team. I was 24. I was bright-eyed. And here I am 6 years later supporting her work. And it's been the greatest blessing of my life.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
How was the 1111, the media company, envisioned? And when they were first building the company, was impact a part of their plan? Or is this something that evolved over time?
It was. So I was supporting Paris personally in the rollout of her documentary, This Is Paris, which is on YouTube. And at the same time, she was building out her media company. And really where we sit in the media landscape is we like to say that we're at the intersection of content, commerce, and community. We support all of Paris's personal brand deals and all of those goals, but then also she has really big visions. She's super innovative as a human being. And so we're building out kids and family IP. We have skincare lines. So everything across licensing to brand deals to all the TV, audio, and film projects that we come out with sits within 1111 Media. I was the second employee at the media company. And so as she was really learning and figuring out how valuable her voice was for movements, she wanted to bring me in and lead impact here at the media company so that I could oversee how social change can be incorporated essentially into all of her business endeavors.
Going back a step, can you define what impact production is?
Yeah, so impact producing for documentary films is obviously a little bit different than what I'm doing today. But impact producing for docs is essentially translating the themes in the film into social change. So that could look like advocacy that's coming out of what you're trying to say over the course of the documentary. That could look like partnerships with community organizations to inspire discourse and conversation about the themes in the film. It really is very intimate and very specific to what you're trying to do. But in the course of This Is Paris, our goals for that project was to inspire the survivor community to share their stories and to turn their pain into purpose.
Maybe we can talk a little bit more about that work. How did this whole impact arm start? Did it start with the Trapped in Treatment documentary? Does it go before then? How did you start this whole, I want to ask about, passing legislation and all that, but at the very beginning of this, what did it look like?
Impact to me is one of the most intimate things that one can do. It has to stem from what is in your heart and the change that you want to see and what your legacy is. So at the very, very beginning, if we're getting super technical, it really started with Paris, her husband Carter, and I sitting down and discussing, their vision for the world and what they want to see done. And then it's my job to essentially translate that into action.
Yeah.
And so for This is Paris, which is when this work started and when the idea for impact more generally became a foundational element and not something that she was just doing on the side personally, was around This is Paris. And so she's a survivor of the troubled teen industry, which is a $23 billion a year industry. It impacts over 200,000 youth in the United States alone. And she experienced some really, really horrific things. So, when we started this work, she wanted to, one, make sure that survivors felt seen and heard. She wanted to use her experience to change the industry and make sure no other youth were harmed. And so that led us to, obviously, some more storytelling things. I'm the co-host of a podcast, Trapped in Treatment, which really dives into the industry and kind of all the systemic issues. And then policy change, which is what we determined to be kind of the next step, the most imminent thing that needed to change so that we could protect youth.
What does that look like day to day? How does an idea become law?
Yeah.
Because that's so crazy to me that you can...
It's such a good question. I am actually so passionate about breaking this down because it is not that hard. Genuinely, it is. I will not discount the insane amount of work it takes to pass a law. However, truly anybody can do it. And something that most people don't know is that it was November of 2020. We were still figuring out kind of all the systemic issues. How did this relate state by state? Did we need to go federal? And Paris, myself, and a few other survivors of the troubled teen industry applied online to an advocacy program called Rise Justice Labs. And so you'd think Paris literally typing up her essays, applying like any other human being, but she truly did. And she was really passionate about, learning how a law can get passed. But that advocacy program, the accelerator, the idea is that you can pen your own civil rights into existence. And so they essentially give you all the tools to be able to do that. And it's led by this woman named Amanda Wynn, who's just the most unbelievable woman. And I'm so inspired by her and grateful that she's a mentor. But essentially, we learned how to write a law. We learned how you testify in a committee. What's the most important thing? How do you utilize social media? How do you utilize earned media? What are the basic things you need to do in a meeting to get your point across? And so we took the course. It was 8 or 12 weeks, something like that. We passed our first law, and then we were able to just translate it across various states. So we've passed 16 state laws and 2 federal bills.
Was one yesterday? Did I see that on?
Yes. That's why I paused for a second because I'm used to saying 15.
I was going to say 15, but last night I realized
I'm used
it's
to
16.
saying 15 and now it's 16.
That's
and
amazing.
hopefully we'll get to 20 before the end of this session.
Tell me more about the federal law that you guys passed. I want you to, I don't want to give you my Google summary of it, but I want you to tell me what that was about because I think that's one of your biggest wins.
It is. It's something I'll never forget was, that moment when it was passed in Congress, and luckily we were there. Our federal bill, the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act, our team here at 1111 Media Impact, which is formatted as a 501c3 and a 501c4 so that we can do kind of the policy in the C4 and then the education and the awareness in the C3. So that's important to state. Mm-hmm. We drafted that law. We reached out to sponsors on Capitol Hill and said, is this something that you're passionate about? Will you carry this for us? We built a coalition of 100 organizations. We, every 3 to 4 months, brought Paris to Capitol Hill. She took over 200 meetings with legislators, telling them her intimate story. We would bring along other youth who had experienced this more recently than she had because her experience was over 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the culmination of that was 3 years of really, really hard work. I really took it to heart because I lead the strategy here, and it was, our decision together to go and do this crazy thing, not knowing necessarily at the time that less than 1% of bills get passed in Congress.
Oh my God.
And so for a year and a half, we worked on the language. We got support on the Hill. We introduced it at that 1.5 year mark. And then a 1.5 years later, it was passed. It was truly the most I still get chills thinking about it. It was the most unbelievable day. It was really, really surreal to be there with Paris and the people who had worked so hard to do it. And we were up on the balcony, which is a very rare, like I will say we're so privileged. We had a lot of access that a lot of advocates don't. But we were up there and we got to watch, all the legislators in the House of Representatives click, yes or no. There were a few no's, which were like, what are you doing? We're protecting kids. But, we're sitting up there and we're watching every single one of them click and vote in support primarily. And it was, it passed. The Speaker of the House at the time, made an announcement. He kind of pointed up to Paris and we were all standing on the balcony and they gave her a round of applause. And it was just, really seeing like how we could turn an idea into policy change that impacts youth across the whole country is just, it's very invigorating and it makes you kind of want to keep going and do more.
Go for it.
But we are.
I think it's fantastic. And it's so, I teach this in class. So when you teach it, it's like, oh yeah, celebrity capital can turn into political power. La, 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 la. But when you're actually describing it, I'm like, wait, it really can?
Yeah, I can.
And you said you had, maybe more access to certain things. How critical was Paris's celebrity capital for this whole journey?
We wouldn't be able to do it without her. I mean, not to say 100% wouldn't, but how fast we were able to accelerate it and how much support we had across the aisle, I think is very rare. Mm-hmm. There's so many reasons for that. I think the first being that when you have a celebrity advocate, they break through the noise of culture. And that is the most critical thing. Congress is looking to the headlines for what they're going to focus on. They're looking to what their constituents care about at the time. And so if you can break through and you can drive that headline, which Paris just so uniquely is able to do for these causes every single time, then it builds that momentum that then you need to get in the rooms to have those conversations. So she is like the singular reason. I mean, there hadn't been movement on this issue since 2008. And we were able to do this so quickly when she got involved. So
that's fantastic.
It really means everything. And it's not going to be possible on everything. But at least where I sit, I guess I'm, so grateful that she's willing to put not only her own capital and invest her time, but she's really able to like put her star power behind these causes. And when you see it, it's just completely undeniable. And I hope it inspires other people who have those platforms to do the same.
I want to ask about the Defiance Act. You can tell us more about it, but I saw a video of you, Paris, and AOC in a room where she was complimenting your work.
Yeah.
Tell me about that moment. I mean, watching it, I felt so excited for you and like kind of proud in a weird way.
Yeah,
but tell me about that moment, what that felt like.
Yeah, so, we passed the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. We still celebrate it. I didn't know when I would be back to the Hill. And, this one really fell in our lap. So AOC is the lead sponsor on a bill called the Defiance Act. And she has lived experience with this. Non-consensual explicit AI deepfakes are pervasive and really impacting women and girls around the entire world. And it's impacting Paris too. And so there's hundreds of thousands of explicit images that are non-consensual of Paris online. And what she experienced in the early 2000s really mirrors this, but this is even more mainstream and this is impacting everybody. And so it was very quick for us to just jump on board and support AOC in this fight to get the Defiance Act passed. And so when we were there, we actually hadn't met her before, and obviously so inspired by how she uses, her profile and how vocal she is. And she's truly brilliant. Like when you hear her speak, you're just like, damn, like she's just she's amazing, but she's so poignant with her words. Amazing. And when you see it in person, you're just like, wow, I understand. I understand your power.
Your power.
Yeah. My role, I'm so proud to just be able to be the one that's kind of more behind the scenes and supporting Paris. And when I watch her give these speeches with all the media surrounding and then seeing kind of the earned media and the numbers, and it's pretty outrageous. And to just stand there and be like, wow, like I have a small or big, I'm a small part in like helping her do this and turn her pain into purpose. And so like that's what drives me. And then AOC kind of recognizing that there's a whole behind the scenes engine that obviously supports Paris in doing this work and directly, calling me out and bringing me up and saying, thank you. And I recognize the work and I recognize what happens behind the scene to make this look easy and to make this accelerate was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Such a good moment. Yeah. I was going to ask you about like your best moments in DC and in the White House, and I think you already answered.
Yeah, I think one was certainly passing the federal bill. I, try to stay professional at all times, but I we walked out of that room and I just dropped to the floor and just started bawling. Like it was just years of stress and hard work just like completely leaving us and knowing that like we can kind of do anything. So I think going back and just seeing how people respect Paris and like value her opinion on these bills and that like we have a seat at the table now, 5 years later, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But there's a million moments. Like we were in Jamaica, we were in Romania with UNICEF this summer, and we were just with Gloria Steinem, and all of these moments, I think, I'm able to kind of reflect on them now. I think in the future I will even more and just be so grateful for the time here.
What are you working on right now in terms of impact? Maybe tell me what you're the most proud of right now to be working on.
Yeah, so we just launched a new initiative called Back in Business. Back in Business is both a show and a fund. So last year during the LA fires, we were able to support 50 female entrepreneurs in partnership with GoFundMe.org, and we gave them flexible cash assistance so that they could rebuild their businesses. And it's not only important for us to mirror kind of philanthropy and to support causes quickly, but we wanted to storytell because one, the recovery here is going to be a long time and it, leaves the headlines and leaves the news really quickly. But two, the stories of resilience were so incredible that we were seeing firsthand. And so we just launched a medium form YouTube series called Back in Business, and it's doing really well. And people are loving seeing these businesses and loving seeing Paris interact and, go into food trucks and go into gymnastic studios. It's fun. But then we wanted to launch a new fund to support women who are facing future disaster and allow us to have a fund to help them future proof. So we have a, $500,000 commitment. We're working with amazing philanthropists, amazing brands who are supporting our effort. And so that just launched. So I think that's like the newest, most exciting thing that's in our roster. But we're everything from political advocacy to a lot of philanthropy right now across various issues to storytelling. And I think our success is how we mirror those three.
You have another YouTube series that I really liked.
Yeah, so we came out with a new show called Inclusive by Design on YouTube. Paris proudly has ADHD. She was diagnosed later in life, and I think it really helped her contextualize and understand so much of what she went through as a teenager or even younger. We at 1111 Media Impact really work to reframe the narrative around ADHD and work to destigmatize it. We work with an amazing partner called understood.org. They're a leading learning and thinking differences nonprofit. But Paris believes ADHD is her superpower. She believes she couldn't do a lot of what she does here without it because it enables her to kind of be interweaving all of her ideas. That's really like the power of people with ADHD. And so, yeah, we created a new show called Inclusive by Design. When they were moving into this house here, she knew that she needed to create new systems that would work for her brain uniquely. And we were like, but she loves a camera following her. Obviously, it's been her whole life. And so we were like, why don't we just support you and film your experience talking to experts, figure out how we can make your home the best possible so that it can, be the most organized, so that it can make you the most calm, so that you feel super centered. And then there's a lot of very unique traits to it that obviously is in the show, and I highly recommend everyone watch. But Google came in as a partner on that too, because they wanted to show how Android could really support those who are neurodivergent. And so we incorporated their product into the show, which is a really great example of, a brand and a cause and Paris coming together and what we hope to do in the future. Also, Paris is the most relatable person on the planet. She's very aspirational, but she's also so relatable and literally shops at Walmart with her kids and has products there and is in sweatpants all the time on the weekend. And I think that show also really helped understand and people see kind of behind the Paris Hilton brand and who she really is. And so people got a lot of like, there's some more expensive fixes that you can have. And there's also like $5 color coding ideas within the show that, we wanted to share to audiences.
I watched a few episodes and I actually loved it.
Yeah.
Like, they take you around her house and how they're redesigning these fabulous rooms.
Yeah. So we did that. So Impact, 1111 Media Impact produced the series.
Fantastic.
So it was fun.
It's a really fun watch.
Yeah.
We already kind of mentioned the power of celebrity capital and where it really works. When do you think it starts to break down? Or are there areas where celebrity influence doesn't work as well?
I started this at 24, and I think, there's a whole aspect of like celebrity philanthropy and celebrity advocacy has been around for a very long time. And I didn't have that background working at agencies or, simply focusing on celebrity. 1, gives to nonprofit, 2, does some social media, 3, just kind of the very like basic model of that. We started with Paris's lived experience and told that story to audiences. It resonated, and then we kept going. And I think what we're really good at is following the momentum and making right decisions along the way. Where I think it breaks down is when it's not authentic to the celebrity. And I think particularly Gen Z and just newer audiences are keenly aware of when it's authentic or when you're doing it for non-authentic reasons. I mean, I think it's honestly as simple as that. I believe, and I think, in the future of my career in impact, I want to work for people that have that lived experience because I think it resonates so much more than just kind of glomming onto a cause that you might care about, but it's the lived experience and it's the like authenticity there that matters.
People can see through it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Paris needs no introduction. Original it girl, original influencer, billion-dollar empire. It's crazy that you're working here. Every minute I'm like, it's crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But I really like this, almost like Paris 2.0, the mom of 2. I'm a mom of 2. I can really, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's a new identity, motherhood, married. And you've been here for 6 years now, but I feel like you know her past and you've seen her through some of these new chapters. What has remained constant about her throughout this whole thing?
She's the most creative and the most fun person I know. She's also so funny. And I think we know that from The Simple Life, right? But also like she's an innovator. Like she's the first influencer. Look at the influencer culture today. Look at how it's impacted the whole entire world. And so she's the same and different. Like I think now she just really understands the gravity of her voice in culture and how it can move needles, both in terms of business or innovation or investing, but particularly advocacy and impact. At the core of it, I think she's just, and she'll say this herself, like she's just such a kid at heart. Yeah. And I think that is what enables her to kind of constantly be fun, constantly be reinventing the wheel and just like having fun with it along the way. Like there's a lot of levity. There's a lot of very serious stuff that we work on. And there's also so much levity and so much fun with her.
What's one thing about her that is misunderstood, you think?
How hard she works. We would not be here today if she didn't put in the work. And I think that is still really misunderstood. One of my favorite parts of this job is seeing how people's perceptions shift when she's in the room, particularly in a legislative sense. Like when she's in, I'll just use a random state, like when she's in Missouri and she's, sitting with legislators and she's talking about what she's been through, the demeanor and like the physical presence of people in her presence changes. And that's really fun because like I know who she is. I know how hard she works. I know how much she cares about these causes. And so having kind of the world understand that now has been obviously very validating to her, but also very validating for the people around her to know that like people see it, people respect it. But like, on Capitol Hill, like I don't think people understand that she's pounding the pavement from 8 a.m. to 5:30, then going to a cocktail event, then going to a dinner with legislators, doing the work to get these things done. Like she's not just showing up for the splashy moment.
Even in a documentary I remember watching, and seeing how tired she was from working so hard. She is super nonstop.
Yeah. And being a mom now, right? Like the juggling of that is.
I don't know how one juggles.
I know.
You can have all the help in the world, but at the end of the day, your kids want mama.
Yeah.
Like even last night, I'm trying on outfits. I usually put my son to, like my husband does the story reading. I do the tuck in and kiss. And last night, I'm like, Mommy can't do the tuck in and kiss.
Yeah.
I have stuff to do. Oh my God, the drama. He's out in the hallway. Mama, I just want to watch you. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to go to bed. And
Yeah.
as soon as I like lay down next to him, I touched him, he was out. All he needs is me like right there. But no one else can do that. And as a mom, you have to stop what you're doing, go and do that, and come back. It's very real.
moms are truly superheroes. Like I really believe that. And I'm excited to see what these kids, what Phoenix and London do in their future, because they have, like, kids are so receptive. They see and they learn from everything around them. And this is like on steroids, what's happening
crazy.
around here.
Right?
There's photo shoots. We bring the kids to the Capitol. They've experienced so much. So I'll be excited to see kind of how that leads them. And but Paris is able to manage it. Like, she brings them with her. She makes it work, and it's pretty inspiring to see.
With the right kind of support, it's very doable. Yeah. But like that's why this is called the village, because you really need a solid village, and then you can be a great mom and a great businesswoman, and you can do it all. I mean, not all. What does that even mean?
Totally.
But you can do
what you set your mind to.
Yep, what you want to do with the right kind of support. I think that's important.
Yeah, I do too.
I want to go back and ask you two things before I get to you personally, but can you tell me about the New York Stock Exchange ringing the bell experience for International Women's Day and what that was like and what that meant for the company?
Yeah, we should have brought the gavel in. It's on display.
Run, bring it.
I know, it's on display right out there. I have like a whole shrine of impact here in this office. I have the federal bill that's signed by the president. I have our first bill. I have the gavel. I'm like just collecting.
Can we show those maybe?
Yeah,
we can edit this. Yeah, maybe I can add snippets of that would be cool. Oh my God,
really
let's go
fun.
for it. Yeah.
But so Paris was asked to ring the New York Stock Exchange closing bell for International Women's Day, which was obviously such an honor for the media company as a whole. I think to recognize that like Paris can be that voice. She can, it was up to us what we wanted to highlight on that day, but that they asked her to stand there was really exciting. And so we wanted to focus on female entrepreneurship and our support of women-owned small businesses over the past year. And so that's where we launched Back in Business, the show and the fund on that day. But we asked Gloria Steinem to join us, and literally the greatest honor of Paris of all of our lives, that she was willing to stand up there and experience it for the first time. Actually, she had never done it before either. And so we had some really amazing women around her. Mina Flynn, who is an incredible woman at Goldman Sachs. We had Amanda Wynn, who is a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. She's who taught us how to pass our first law. Nice. We had some folks from the UK government. Like it was just a really big celebration of women and what's possible and how everybody can be multi-hyphenates and can achieve their dreams. And so, you get up there. It's a really quick moment. We were like a little bit late. And so
you have 3 seconds.
We're running up there. Like the bell does not wait for anybody. The bell does not wait for Paris Hilton. And so we get up there. Everybody's up there. People are down below. Everybody's screaming and celebrating. So it was really special.
What an iconic moment.
Yeah. And I'm like standing right behind Gloria Steinem. And to me, I'm just like, how did we get here? Right? Like it's fun.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about like a what is my life moment. Maybe that's a good one.
I think that's a pretty good one.
But I bet you have like 100 in your pocket.
There's a few.
Tell me.
One, imposter syndrome is totally real. Mm-hmm. Like I feel at the same time like so proud of all my accomplishments, but also
so behind.
Like a baby at times and like young. So I think, it's just like every big moment that we have. Like passing the federal bill was very validating. I don't think that was one of, those crazy moments. But standing behind Gloria Steinem as she herself experiences something new, someone who, we admire and read about in history books, I don't think will ever get old. Yeah. There's a ton of those.
So you are recently married, newlywed, you're renovating a house. That's a lot of work. And you're working this really, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
my
busy.
little ADU took us 2 years for permitting. I can't even imagine a house. Good luck.
It's almost done.
Good. And you're working this really, high stakes, high pressure job. What kind of work culture makes this possible?
At the very start, it's a supportive culture. Like, yes, I'm, kind of a team of one. I have 2 survivors that support me on the policy side specifically, but impact is not, it's not alone in this. Like, I have the support from our chief storytelling officer. I have the support from our chief marketing officer, from brand partnerships, who we partner a lot with to bring in brand deals and have some of that go to impact and tell important social impact stories with brands. To me, I think it's just support. And, Paris, all she wants to do in this world, like, her legacy is leaving a sparkle everywhere she goes. And so how that translates to joy and creativity and kindness here, and how we, really fulfill those values is important. And then I also think a flexible work culture.
Yeah.
This is not a 9 to 5. And I think how I like to look at it is like, work is, and whether it's healthy or not, I don't really know. Like, work is kind of part of my identity. And I've enabled that because I'm so proud of what I do. And that extends into my personal life. And everybody knows, what I do here because I want to talk about it, because I'm proud of it, because sometimes it does spill into my personal life and my personal time if I have to travel or, do something on the weekend. It's about taking breaks, but also, like, this is, I think, celebrity culture in particular, like, social media and people consuming content never stops. The headlines never stop. The policy never stops. So it's not a traditional 9 to 5 environment here.
Yeah.
But I think the people that have been here for the long haul, and the people that are just like true 1111 media, like family, like we all just like very much understand that, and, find ways to make this all possible.
When I think about the village, to me, that means real people who make my work and life possible.
Yeah.
You sort of mentioned your work family, but who is in your village?
I'm my husband. He is my biggest cheerleader. I'm so lucky to have him. And we don't have a traditional home environment either. Like, he is way more of the cleaner. He cooks.
Good for him.
I know. I'm so lucky.
Are you listening? Reed offering yes, I'm kidding. He's also fantastic. I'm joking.
I mean, he is so accomplished in his own right and so amazing and brilliant. But it just, we have maybe what you would say like some non-traditional roles at home. And so he really makes like all the travel and all the late nights possible. And my dog, obviously, she's the best.
What's
there's
her name?
nothing like Finley.
Finley.
There's nothing like just like getting home after a long day and dealing with child abuse and then just like hugging her, snuggling a dog. Yeah,
you need it.
You need it. You need it. I would also say, honestly, like, the gym and workouts like that, like, I think everybody has to find their ways of whether it's like meditating or what you do to relax and kind of let the whole day shed, and workout classes are really helpful to me.
For me, it's just scrolling TikTok at this point
in
my life.
No.
I need to move. I need to move.
I mean, moving is like my number one, but like if you need a 10-minute break from the world and you kind of need to just like
2 hours,
desensitize. Yeah, and just like kind of, you see the like.
Yeah. I need a minute.
Scroll over you. Yeah. Scrolling is very, very helpful. I wish it wasn't for me, but it definitely is.
Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. As we wrap up, I always do this rapid fire.
Great.
So whatever comes to your mind, don't think about it. We already answered the what is my life moment, so skipping that. The most unexpected part of your job. Slow fire.
Okay, wait. You're gonna have to ask me.
We're gonna do it slow fire.
We're gonna redo this.
It's okay.
Fuck.
No, think about it. I can always edit this little bit out or keep it in. For likes and giggles.
What should I say?
Oh no! What comes to your mind first? Most unexpected part of your job. She's like, I expect everything at this moment.
Oh my God, I actually don't know. I'm
That's
like
fine.
Stumped.
No, maybe
most unexpected part of
maybe
the
it's like
job.
so much is unexpected that
It's
you're like
all
all day, every day.
unexpected. I don't know if I want to say. Okay, we'll come back to that one.
Okay, let's come back to that one. These are kind of hard, by the way, too. Now that I'm reading, I'm like, well, okay. Maybe not super rapid fire. A skill you didn't expect to use, but now you use all the time.
My acting, like, I started young. I had a lot of experiences where people were honestly like, how old are you? Like, what do you mean you're leading the impact strategy for Paris Hilton? And I think you have to find ways to level up. And I use acting and the confidence and, not that I'm acting, but I think there's a level of kind of that external, how you present yourself that's been really helpful for me. And that definitely came from my acting background.
Awesome. A moment that felt glamorous and one that did not feel glamorous at all.
So many moments here feel glamorous. I mean, it's like sparkle and sunshine and
yeah.
all the time. I mean, going to the White House for sure was very, very glamorous. And just everything that we experience in DC, who we get to meet, I think just everything about it feels really glamorous. And like there's so much access and yeah, it's exciting. Something that did not feel glamorous, there's plenty of not glamorous moments. I mean, I think also the biggest thing that people sometimes forget is that like celebrities are human beings. They have feelings just like everybody else, like I think and even in college when I was studying it, you're like, oh, these are like people that we put on a pedestal. No, like they're humans. When we were in Romania this past summer, it was like 110 degrees. And so I'll leave it at that.
Like today. Yeah.
But yeah, we're traveling, we're going around, we're seeing community centers, we're learning. And yeah, there's plenty of non-glamorous moments.
The most surreal place you've ever had a work meeting?
I think this house. I think like where we're
I would like to agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they live in, this was formerly Mark Wahlberg's house. They bought it. They've turned the whole thing pink. The tennis court is bright pink. Like, it's pretty crazy that this is where I come to work every day.
I would like to agree, Rebecca. Yeah. I think this is insane what's happening right now. We're just holding it in until a little later. The best perk of working for this company, aside from the house.
Well, it's a little bit related to the house, so I might not get this answer fully right, but she is very into longevity and wellness, and they have built in state-of-the-art spa downstairs. Everything from hyperbaric chamber to cryo to a floating pool to obviously a sauna to workout equipment. And so that is certainly a perk. They're very, very generous with their space and their time and their knowledge on all of that stuff. So we're going to have to maybe get a little bit of NAD and some longevity to keep up with the job and the career and the work. But that part's really fun.
I am very jealous. That was my final question. Do you ever get to use the spa?
Yeah, it's
girl.
Every day. You work here at 1111 Media. We do cryo when we're feeling like a little bit tired. It is better than like the 2 to 3 o'clock coffee break. We don't do coffee here. We do cryo.
Are you hiring any college professors who can teach the kids? We can tutor, right? We can do content. I don't need payment. I will use a spa.
Exactly. And ParaV, her new skincare line, which we all get to use. There's
perks.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We don't get glammed for the moments fully, but there's enough to keep us
like the skin is already glowing. You don't need, right? All right. One word to describe working with Paris.
Sparkly.
I love this.
It's a cop-out.
No, I love this.
Okay.
No, I get it. Last bit. Now we're going to do this or that. Okay? Easy, I think. All right. This is funny. These two might be the same thing, but I don't know the difference. Sliving or thriving?
Sliving.
Okay. Sliving is like slaying and living, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Slay and live your best life.
Oh, live your best.
Yeah. I will say, when you work here, your vernacular completely shifts. So, like, we use sliving in our day-to-day, like, words. We say that's hot all the time. Like we all like kind of turn into that a little bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know obviously what they are, but sometimes they don't.
And they're like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
we kind of turned into that with my team in the car. We're just like, it's a hot day. That's hot.
No, exactly.
Like,
It's fun though. It's so much fun. Like she just totally like her vernacular and who she is like definitely comes off on us in the best way possible.
I mean, even 1111 Make-A-Wish. Was that her?
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Literally the whole world. I'm telling you for a fact.
Yeah. She makes a wish 2 times a day, every day.
Fantastic. Does she have an alarm or does she like automatically know when it's 11:11 because she's done it so far?
I don't know.
So
I'll ask her.
Please do and let me know. That's hot or that's iconic?
That's hot.
That's hot. Speed or precision? What are we talking about? I think it's this is decision making. Speed or precision?
Both. At different times.
Okay, I'll take that. DC or LA?
Oh, my husband's going to have a heart attack at that. No. LA. Not interested necessarily. Not interested in being in DC necessarily all the time, but when we go, we make a splash and it's pretty special.
You need both.
Yeah.
Just like the
Yeah.
Pink or black? Black.
But that's what make us perfect pairs.
I agree. Juicy tracksuit or couture gown?
Juicy tracksuit.
I wanted to wear a pair. I don't own
Yeah.
one. I need one.
For all of us.
Right.
Paris too, we love our sweatpants.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awareness or action?
You need both. You can't have action without awareness.
This section is this and that.
This and that. Yeah, exactly.
This and that. Welcome.
Both.
Well, my final question, you already answered about the spa. So now we have to go to the spa.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, don't tempt me. It's a good time. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of
Thanks for
course.
joining us. Or should I say thank you for hosting us and having us here.
Anytime.
Anytime, take note.
No, seriously.
They will come back.
Seriously.
Where can people follow your work?
What I would say is honestly follow Paris Hilton on
Okay.
social media. All of our advocacy, all of the impact that we do is translated there. But you can watch Back in Business on YouTube, which is our most recent project. You can also look up more about what we do more generally at 1111mediaimpact.com.
God, I need a sip of water.
I told you it gets hot in here.
Yeah, you did the talking, but I got.
It's hot.
That's hot. All right. All right.
See, it's fun.
Right? It's fun. This is going to be my whole personality now this whole week. We're like, that's hot, that's hot. Thank you for joining us today. You can find episodes of The Village wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. That's hot. Bye.
Sliving.
Sliving. What else? Hashtag. That's it.
Iconic.
Infinite icon is good. It's good. I also been listening. We're done, but like I've been listening to Stars Are Blind today. It's like we're doing the whole throwback.
I love it. Yay, that's fun.
It's fab.
Amazing. Yay.
Thank you.